Hello, beautiful people. So I wanted to make this video and expand a lot more from the previous video where we talked about, getting into Turkey, getting into Istanbul and how easy it was during COVID. So I wanted to make this video because I got so many comments and questions from the last video that I wanted to, expand and answer those questions and also give you some tips and tricks and things to think about if you're considering coming to Turkey, especially now. So Turkey, Istanbul, one of the only few countries that's open and available to pretty much anyone in the world, especially USA passport holders. So I'm an Australian, my partner's a USA passport holder, and that's kind of why Turkey got on the radar for us. We, previously really didn't think too much, we didn't really know too much about Turkey, yet, we found ourselves here. And as mentioned in the last video, it was really easy for us to get in. We did get a PCR test a few days before we jumped on the plane in Dubai to get to Istanbul, but at the airport they didn't check it. Probably the most difficult part was checking into the check-in desk with the airlines. It seems that the airlines are the most stressed out right now because they've got all these new rules and regulations, and they're wearing all these, like the stewardesses are wearing all these bio suits and stuff. So I think the airlines are struggling a lot to keep up with all the new regulations. And so when we were checking in, there's a lot of sort of tension around check-in for us anyway. And then from that point on, once we passed that stage, it was really easy. Immigration, getting stamped in was easy. We did get a e-visa. Oh, that's right. We did get asked if we had a visa at the check-in. And for Turkey, it's an e-visa we got. So you go online, you put in your country passport, and it'll tell you what you're applicable for. So we got 90 days, easy as. Then we arrived in Turkey, stamped through, really easy. So getting in for us was super easy. And, we've been really enjoying our time here. We got an Airbnb in this place, which is still our favorite place, called Beyoglu. My pronunciation is probably not correct, but if you look it up, you see the word, you'll know what I'm talking about. So it's kind of a trendy area on the European side of the city, and we really like it there. One reason we like it there is because, we don't speak much Turkish. And that's another thing, is that Turkey is primarily Turkish language. So that's one thing to be really aware of, is that English, not that many people speak English here. And so if you do come here, expect to start learning Turkish quite fast, okay? There are some places like Beyoglu where you can speak English and the waiters and stuff will understand. But if you start going out of those areas, it gets more and more Turkish and no one will understand you. So you're going to have to learn some Turkish if you come here, which is cool, I think. So the weather is really fantastic right now. As you can see, it's quite sunny out, well, the light coming in. It's still quite warm and it's October. Apparently it does get cold here during winter, but definitely not as prolonged cold as the other European, countries up north. So there's more warmth that lasts longer throughout the year. But it does get cold, which is quite nice. Well, we're looking forward to it anyway. So winter is coming. And with that, there is that potential that winter may increase the cases of COVID, okay? Because people are closer together. And that's just something to be aware of. The cases are apparently going up at the moment, so there is talk that they may continue slowly locking down. We don't know. This is just speculation. But I do notice that recently the government has stopped live music after 12 midnight because, people are still living quite business as usual here, though everyone's wearing masks in public in the main areas anyway. Social distancing is sort of in place as best as people can. But the cases are going up here in Turkey. So I think the government may start doing a few more locking down practices later on. Most of the restaurants are open, but the bars, the clubs, they seem to be closed. Yeah, so weather's good. The thing I wanted to also mention was about visas. So we're looking into now, because we want to sort of stay somewhere while the COVID kind of passes or gets settled and other countries open up, which is going to be longer than 3 months. So we're looking at this thing called a residency permit, and it's 12 months long and it's multi-entry, which means that we can leave Turkey, come back multiple times with this card, this residency permit card. It gives us 12 months, which is fantastic. And we're really liking that. That means we can make this place our base, and then we could bounce to other European countries later on. And it's relatively easy to get as well. So this is the other thing. We've spoken to a few different people. I've spoken to various agents. Some agents saying it's only $200 to $250 to get a residency permit, and they do all the paperwork. You just give them the passports and photos, and then they do everything else. You can do it yourself, of course, but you have to do like set up bank accounts. You have to do all this stuff, and you can do it yourself. Which I think they're saying is like $100 to do it yourself. And there's other real estate agents saying that if you get a lease agreement with us, we can also handle that, and that's cheap as well. So we're getting this sense that Turkey or Istanbul is kind of negotiable. It's a little bit, it varies depending on who you're talking to as to prices and what they offer. So it's kind of like, you do your homework. It doesn't sound like there's absolutely one way of doing things here. There's multiple ways of getting things done here, which is cool and also maybe not cool. So with a 12-month residency visa, as I said, great option. You can stay here, make it a base. The next thing to talk about is accommodation. So you can use Airbnb, which we've been doing. It's a little bit pricey, but still affordable compared to many countries. But we're looking into leasing, renting an apartment. I'll leave a link of this classifieds that we found, and it's got so many listings, and it's got lots of options, very affordable places as well. You know, anything from like $200 a month, you can rent a place in the city. Not the greatest place, but still it's a place. Anything upwards. All these different things, European buildings, old buildings, new buildings. It's amazing, it's mind-blowing. Furnished and unfurnished as well, you've got options. So I'll leave that link and you can check that out. It's in Turkish, but there's a button somewhere, you can change it to English. The other thing with leasing, it sounds like most of it's 12-month agreements. But again, it's negotiable. But that seems to be the standard, is if you want to sign a lease, you sign for 12 months. And with that, the money situation is that usually you pay a monthly fee or a monthly rental fee, and you pay a deposit, which is probably around the same amount. And then if a real estate agent is involved in setting you up, they get a commission, which seems to be another monthly rental fee. So what that means is if you rent a place at 6,000 Turkish lira a month and you sign, so up front you'll give them 6,000 for the rent, 6,000 deposit, and then 6,000 to the real estate agent who hooked you up. And then you're in. That seems to be the standard way that they do it. Though again, it's negotiable. Sometimes the deposit might go up or down, and it can vary depending on landlords as well. Some landlords don't want foreigners. Some landlords do. It's okay. So again, it's all negotiable here. And with real estate agents, it seems to be if you find a nice area, all you do is go to that area, and there's lots of little real estate agent offices, and you simply walk into those offices, and they'll have a list of local places that they've got, and you can potentially just view them straight away. And you know, that's another way to find a place. So instead of going online, is just hit the streets like old school, Find the real estate agents in the area you want to go. Just walk in, start talking to them, view, talk, view, negotiate, sign. Like, I like it. I like it's as long as you kind of got the money, things can happen. Okay, things can happen. So that's accommodation, weather, visas are easy. Also with the visa, it sounds like once you got a residency permit, there's options to get a work permit or work visa, which means you can work legally. And that doesn't sound complicated either. Again, probably just a few more $100 and then you're there. But I'm not an agent. Don't quote me on any of this. It's probably, you have to find out for yourself as well. But I just wanted to give you a guide, what to expect. But yeah, basically that's it. It's like, it suits us perfectly because we can potentially stay here for 12 months, multi-entry, so we can leave and go to Europe as other countries open up for holidays or whatever. We can lease a nice apartment that's really affordable to European standards and European lifestyle, which is really attractive to us. We can even work here if we were interested in that, like put on events, because we're into putting on events. We could actually advertise events and put them on and make money doing that. So there's also co-working spaces which are around, which are pretty cool. I'm looking at potentially putting on a writer's workshop, writer's group meetup here in the area. And there seems to be a lot of interest in that. My partner's into creating like a women's meetup group as well, which has got a lot of interest just from the forums we've been looking at. So, it feels like there's a lot of energy here. People are eager. We could stay here for 12 months without too much hassles from the government. It's really affordable. The weather's warm most of the time. The food is amazing here. And it's really cheap. Like, I rarely, $10 a meal is kind of expensive on the top end in a restaurant, but usually you can get breakfast and stuff like $5, $6. Turkish coffee, Turkish tea, etc. So that's basically it. We're really, we're really into this. And the other thing is, if you want to get out of the city, out of Istanbul, which is a huge city, 18 million people, traffic, etc., is that, you can just fly down to the coast, which we did last week, down to a place called Kaş, and it costs $20 to fly down to the south coast, where there's hardly any people. So Turkey is quite a big country as well, and we didn't know this. So you can stay in Istanbul, but if you want to get out, you can just fly somewhere else for like $20, get some space, come back, 12-month visas. So, Turkey's got a lot to offer, and we really like it. So that's basically it. Hopefully it answers all the questions that I received. If you have any other questions, leave them below, and I'll see if I can get to those. If you enjoy this, be sure to check out my other videos, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.